Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. It's Cooley. Today we'll be making this side root dress that I posted. So if this is what you would like to learn, please make sure to stay tuned, like, share, and comment. So you'll be needing 3 years of mesh fabric, 3.5 to 4 years. It depends on how ruched you want it. So you'll be needing up to 3 to 4 years of fabric here. I didn't use a mesh for my own. I just use what I have at home. It's light and stretchable, not light like mesh. So if you're making this, I would recommend you use a mesh fabric so that it can root very well. So let's get started. Here I'll be drafting this on a small pattern paper so that my camera will get everything, but I'll be calling out my exact measurement that I use. But this is a small pattern paper because I want the camera to get everything, but I'll call out my measurement so that you will know how to take your own measurement when you're taking your measurement. So please, this tie cannot be cut directly on the fabric. You will need a pattern paper, and your pattern paper should be on fold when you're cutting it. So from my shoulder, I'm going to get my waist location, which is 16 inches. So I will mark it out very well. On the waistline, I will go down by 8 inches for my hip location. So on my waist, I'll go down by 8 inches and I will outline the lines very well. You'll be needing your knee length measurement for this. So from my waist to my knee is 19 inches. It can measure yours, but it's unless you are very tall. But if you are just an average height, it should be like that 19 inches. So I'll mark out the lines, waist, hip, and full length. The full length I use for this is 56 inches. So the next thing is to get my shoulder. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So I'll go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, then get my chest line, which is 8 inches. How to get your chest line is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. Whatever you get should be your chest line. So I'll just outline it, then get the middle of my armhole, come out by half inch. Take my bust measurement. If I'm working on a stretchy fabric, I deduct instead of adding, but on the bust line I don't deduct. I use my exact measurement for my bust without adding any allowance. So my bust is 39. I use 39, exactly 39. I didn't reduce anything from my bust. But if I'm cutting my waist, I'm going to reduce something. So the neck width I use here is 3 inches. The depth is 4 inches or 3.5. The back depth is 1 inch. You know that it doesn't have a zipper, so you will need a stretchy fabric for this if you're not adding a zipper. So once you're done with that, you just connect the shoulder slope and that is just it. Please don't mind this measurement that I'm using here, how the pattern paper is looking. Just follow what I'm saying. So the next thing now is to get your waist measurement. So my waist measurement is 32 divided by 4 is 8 inches, but I use 7.5. I'm reducing because it can reduce up to 1 inch. My hip is 44 divided by 4 is 11 inches, but I use 10.5. So on my knee length, I also use my hip, which is 10.5. My full length, I also impute my hip, which is 10.5. Please don't mind this pattern paper. I didn't get the waist length very well, but yeah, please use your exact measurement. I'm just using this to demonstrate what I did for the camera to get everything very well. The next thing now is to cut it out. Please make sure that your pattern paper is on fold. Please ensure that it's on fold and don't cut this directly on your fabric, please. So we are just going to cut the back neckline and the back armhole because I'm not going to be drafting the back. I'm going to use the front, this to cut the back and the front. So we are going to open it up, extend the lines to the other end. So this is it. This is what you have. I'll still label it for you to see it. So on this knee line, on the knee line, I went up by 2 inches. On the knee line, I went up by 2 inches, or you can go down by 2 inches. It depends. So from the waist, I'm going to be marking out my slash line. So from the waist, I was marking 2 inches all the way to the points that I came up by 2 inches. So that is where I'm going to slash. Then I will number it. If you're numbering this on your fabric, you should have up to like 8 inches line. So I numbered it from 1 to 4 because of this pattern paper. So I'm going to start slashing it. I'll slash it to the other part. Sorry, but I'm not going to slash it through. Just stop at half inch before the line. Please don't slash it through. Watch the way I'm slashing it. This is why I'm using a smaller paper, so that my camera will get everything. So this is how it should look. I'm going to get, once you are done slashing it, go ahead and place it on your fabric instead of placing it on a paper like this, just so you don't waste your paper. But if you feel that you want to place it on a paper, fine and good. So I'm going to slash the waist again because the ruching started from the waist part. So I slashed it. So this is what I have. This is what I have. I'm going to start spreading it. Once you're spreading it, you're starting from the waist. From the waist, the space you will give is 1.5 inch, or you can use up to 1 inch. You can use 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inches. It depends on how ruched you want it to be. So I'll also do it to this part. I will give 1 inch, 1.5 inch space, or 1 inch. So once I get to, that is the third one, once I get to the fourth one before the knee, I will start spacing it by 5 inches. So once you get to your hip, just after spreading your hip, the next one you are going to start spreading it up to you get to the knee line, and also to the, you will not spread the hemming line because I made a mistake. I went to slash it up to my hemming line. You can still do it, but it will consume a lot of fabric, so you don't need to waste your fabric because I wasted mine. So once you get to your knee line, start spreading it by 5 inches or 6 inches all the way to the down part. So this is what I have. If you notice, the fourth line has like up to 5 inches space, 6 inches, 5 inches space, 5 inches to up to the last line will have a bigger space because it has more root. If you notice that the down part is very root, it has more gathers there. So that is what you have. So this is just, it's very simple. This is how to make that dress. So the next thing now is just to get your fabric. You know the front part, this root part is on the right part, on the right hand side. You can make it left or right, anyway, anyhow you want it. That's how you should do it. So I'm just going to place it on the floor. I'll place it on the floor. This is how I placed it. The right side of my fabric is facing up for the front. So like what I said, the mistake that I made, if you look at it very well now, you notice that I spread it up to the hemming line, which consumed a lot of fabric, a lot and lot of fabric. So you don't need to do that. Once you get to the knee, you just spread more and stop there. You don't need to slash all the way to your hemming line. So this is it. So once remember that you came up by 2 inches from the knee line, or you went down by 2 inches, whichever one you did, please notch that, please, because that is where you start, that is where you place your elastic. So this is it. I've gone ahead to cut the front. I cut the front with the back neckline, so I'm going to use this front and cut exactly the same
Cut
thing
exactly
for
what you
the
have
back.
for the back. Also use this and cut exactly. So once you are done cutting your back, you also use that one that you use, or you also use this one and cut exactly this thing for your front. So once you don cutting your back, the next thing to do is to fold this part, or you can just cut your back. You can just cut, use this, cut your back and your front exactly the same thing. Remember, also use this neckline to cut your front. So once you are done cutting it, your back and your front exactly like this now. So you are going to just discard this, just cut out this. We don't need this again. We are done with this. So you just place this aside. The next thing is to fold this to cut the front armhole. So you just place your front part. You just get your front part on the fabric that you finished cutting already. Then you place this paper this way on that. So you place it and cut your, just get one of them and cut your front neckline and your armhole, and that is just it. That is just it. So once you are done doing it, you are just going to go and join the shoulder, pipe your neckline, pipe it neatly, pipe your neckline, join the sides, then cut any sleeve. I just used a normal, you just can use a normal sleeve, any sleeve of your choice. Just cut it, join the sides, just join the sides straight down, join the shoulder and pipe your neckline. So I'll, once you are done doing that, you overlock it if you have an overlocking machine, but if you don't, you just leave it that way. So you get your elastic. You need 1/2 inch elastic for this. At least you will be needing 2 years for this. So I'll get it and show you the next thing to do. And before that,
I'm done joining the shoulder and the sides. So I've joined the back and the front together. This is how it looks. This is it. This is it. So you get the part that you slashed, which is the right hand side that you slashed. Remember that place, that your knee place that you went up by 2 inches or you went down by 2 inches. Remember the notch that you made there. Also notch it very well again. So that is just it. So it's just better you just go up by 2 inches from that point. So from that 2 inches that you notched, that is where you are going to get your elastic. You are going to get your elastic and stitch on the side. Come in, let me show you.
joining mine, I'm done piping because I wanted to wear this out. So I'm done piping the neckline. This is how it looks. This is the neckline. If you don't know how to pipe your neckline to come out this way, drop a comment. I'll make a separate video on how you can perfectly pipe your neckline. So I've gone ahead to attach the sleeves. This is the kind of sleeve I'm using. I added a little flare to my sleeve. If you still want a tutorial on this, drop a comment. Just I added a little this just to beautify it in my own style. So after that, you are going to get the, I didn't know that my video stopped recording again. So after doing that, we are going to get our elastic. This is 1/2 inch elastic. You need at least 2 years. You will not finish it, but you need at least 2 years. Okay, this is the knee part that you notched. This is the knee that you notched. That's why I asked you to notch the knee part. So this is the knee. So the next thing now is to come up by the armhole part. That is the armhole part. From the armhole part, you come down by 2.5 inches or 2 inches. You notch it. So that is it. So you get your elastic, place it on your seam line, place it on that seam line, back stitch on it, then start dragging it. Please drag this, stretch it with everything in you, stretch it very well so that you can ruch, especially if you are not working with a mesh fabric. If you are working with this type of fabric that is a bit thicker than the mesh, you have to stretch it very well. As you are sewing, you'll be stretching it. Make sure that your needle is on it and you are stretching it. So you are going to stretch it to the to till you get to that knee pad that you notch. Here is where you're going to stop, the you just back stitch on it. then you just back stitch and cut it out. So remember that the first one you're going to start from the armhole part down till you get to this knee part that you notched. So once you are done with that, you are going to turn it from that knee part again. You place your elastic there, back stitch on it and start stretching. This time again, you are going from down to up. The first one you went from up to down. So you are going to just another side of it. So you are going to be stretching, sew and be stretching. You are sewing it and be stretching it till you get to the part that you started, that armhole part, and you stop there and back stitch it. So once you stop there and back stitch it, that is it for this dress. So this is how it looks once you are done doing it. This is from the armhole now. This is where I started. You are going to be stretching. Look at it. If you stretch it, if you leave it, it will gather. So if you stretch it, this is how it will look. See, I get to that knee length. This is the knee part where I stopped. So once you get there, you back stitch. Then you turn to this other side. You see, both sides have elastic. Why I did this because my fabric is a bit thick, thicker than the mesh. So you start from the knee part and also sew it the same way till you get to this armhole part and we are done. This is just it. So I'll just trim off the excess and overlock it. So that is just it. This is what you have. Once you are done with that, you are just going to hem the down part. Remember that this part that has root will be is longer than this part that doesn't have this side that doesn't have root. It's just the style. If yours is equal, it's still okay, but the style is a bit here will be longer than this part. That is just the style. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to engage. Please engage. um Drop a comment, like and share. And if you have a requested video or if you don't understand it, drop a comment and I will go through it and I will respond. That is just it, guys. Thank you. Thanks for watching.